here's some other settings on the bottom towards the camera, and I'm gonna go over them now. Right here, you see a thing called gain, low, medium, high. Basically, what gain is that should only ever be used if you are inside, okay? LMH, low, medium, high, right here. This basically what it does is, say you're inside and you have your iris completely open, it's totally exposed, but you're still finding it very dark. Now, I'm thinking of using the camera lights this semester, showing you how to do that. That's one thing, but there's also using the gain. Reason I tell you this is it should only be used if you're inside, and even if everything is totally exposed, totally open, it's still not quite dark enough. It's still not quite light enough. Understand that cameras view light much differently than the human eye. They're about half as powerful and half as exposed, sees light as sensitive as the eye. So anytime you shoot inside, it's going to be darker. Okay, the camera is just not as adaptable as the human eye. So that's what that is. So why do I point that out? Usually keep it in low almost all the time. It's real easy. When you get a camera, you look at the camera, say, hey, where's the gain at? Is it at low where it should be? Because people are going to mess around with it. Students are going to mess around with it. And you don't want that. So you want to make sure it's in low. Because there's lots of times, there's a couple times I've been burnt on this where I didn't pay attention to the gain. And then, yeah, it'll give you artificial exposure, artificial light. But then there's a chance that you're going to have grainy video. And you don't want grainy video, okay? And you won't notice it until you're done. So that's important to understand. And then what this white balance thing is, there's preset A and B. I make people sure that this is in B. So you just take a look. It should be in B. I set the things to that way, but you know how students can be messing around with buttons all the time, okay? So that's what those buttons are there. Then also, if you can see, all right, it's kind of hard to see, but right around here it says iris A/M. That's iris automatic or manual. That's the thing that the iris is the thing that opens and closes the aperture, the hole that is created. That's what manipulates how much light goes in and out of the camera. Okay, now you're seeing the front of the camera. I'm going to tell you how to do white balance, okay? What is white balance? Like I told you, white balance is that thing that we have to make sure the right colors are the right colors. So especially anytime you go shooting, you want the right greens to be green, the reds to be red. You don't want your video to be blue. You don't want to overexpose, stuff like that. And how do we white balance? Well, what we do is first, like I said, last time before, is what you'll do is you'll shoot in the general vicinity of where you are. Now, a lot of the times, what we'll do is we'll have somebody hold something up white, or if you don't have somebody with you, sometimes all I'll take is I'll either find something white out there, or you're supposed to have a white card. You don't have a white card. You can use anything kind of like white. Don't use white for snow because it's reflective and then it can mess up things with the sun and stuff. It's really weird, but don't use that. But what I have here today, and I'm going to kind of show you where between the camera I'm recording with now and the camera I'm shooting right now, is basically what you'll do is you'll zoom in all the way on that thing that is white. In this case right now, I have with me a paper plate, okay? The back of it is white and it'll work. And basically that's what I'm going to do is I'm by myself. So I'm going to put up the white paper plate. See, it's all white. Doesn't have to be in focus. So basically saying, you're telling the camera, this is white, okay? When that's up, okay, we're going to pretend it's still there because you got to see the button you need to press, okay? It's up there like that, but in the front of the camera, okay, right underneath the hood, okay, where the lens is, there's a button that says AWB, and you press that down, and then when you press that down, in your viewfinder, sometimes it'll say okay, white square rectangle will pop up, and sometimes you may even see a shift of the color. You really should a lot of the times. That's saying okay, this is white. Okay, that's saying okay, this is white, because once you establish what white is with, and make sure, it's very important to understand. I was telling you about the neutral density filter on the side of the camera before. Make sure that's set to the right thing if you're inside or outside. You have to white balance if you're inside or outside, doesn't matter. You'll have your, in this case, we'll imagine that, hey, here's the white paper plate. It's up, and then I wrap around, I press that button down, and then it should pop up in your viewfinder. Okay, it'll say something like that, saying, hey, that's how we do white balance. Okay, why do we have to do all this stuff? Because that's the secret. We have all these details that we have to worry about. We have to do it quickly. That's the stuff they don't tell you about. Okay, but that's what people do every single day. Yes, reporters and future anchors, yes, you have to know how to do that, because you're going to have to go out and do this stuff too. No one just gets put on the anchor desk. You have to pay your dues. That means reporting. That means a lot of times shooting by yourself. You'll be multimedia journalist. So you have to know how to do this.